Bulova has increased their popularity in recent years, especially when they revived their original design from 1973. The new Jetstar line could be the new beginning for the brand. Today, we're going to review the new maroon Jetstar, namely the 96 B401. Let's go. Now let's begin with talking about the watch box. Instead of sending us a cheap feeling and cheap looking generic type of box, Bulova made the effort to make at least a really nice looking box, and feeling wise the box is really good. Bulova has this simple yet elegant black textured box. You can see the Bulova text on the surface in gold color. When you open the box, you have really nice feeling cushion and warranty card. I have some extra spare links. I think I removed 5 links for my 6-inch wrist, and as you can see, they really spent some time and effort to make the watch box a little bit more quality. And there is this secret compartment below the watch case for the international warranty card. The watch comes with 3 years of international warranty instead of 2, which is really good. Kudos to Bulova. Let's talk dimensions. The case diameter of the watch is around 40 millimeters, as you can see. That is not including the crown. Including the crown, the watch is around 43 millimeters. The lug-to-lug measurement of the watch is, as you can see, 45 millimeters, let's say, and the case thickness, including the domed crystal, is 12 millimeters. The bracelet starts from 20 millimeters and it tapers down to 17.5 millimeters. Let me show you the weight of the watch. It's 140 grams. As I said, I removed 4 links and it wears 140 grams now. I think it's a good weight. So 140 grams. It's a hefty watch. It's not heavy, but although it's a quartz watch, it has the weight of an automatic almost. So I think the watch feels really good in hand. It's not really, it's not so light that it feels cheap, or it's not so heavy that it feels, bulky. So it's in the sweet spot, middle of the sweet spot. So it's good. It feels nice on the wrist. And the dimensions of the watch, I think, are great because the short lug-to-lug distance and relatively, again, the watch has domed crystal, but relatively thinner case design makes the watch user-friendly. And I think anyone between 6, let's say 5.5 to 8-inch wrist can pull this watch off. I think in terms of wear comfort, the watch is closer to Seiko Diver series, because Seiko is, famously known by making big watches wear smaller. And this watch, although is 40 millimeters in diameter, wears a little bit smaller than the dimensions suggest. So let's talk design now. I think the most attractive thing about this watch, when I first look at the watch, is of course the dial. The dial color, and that sunray effect in the middle of the dial, and the indices, and the handset, the second hand being white text, and white again text on 6 o'clock that says 262 kilohertz, and there is this infinity type of logo over it, makes the watch dial really pop out. And I think this was the most interesting dial option of the other Jetstar models. I think among them, there is gold, there is silver, there is this limited edition, I think gray, blackish type of and this red, this velvet maroon type of red dial. And I believe this is the most striking dial among all of the options. In terms of dial design, I think the first thing to mention is that it's beautiful sun ray effect. So it's not just a plain dull looking color, but instead Bulova went for a sun ray dial and made it more interesting and more pleasing to look at. The indices are black from the sides, from each side, and there are kind of reddish copper type of color straps. And those straps, and including the metallic parts in 1, 2, 4, 5, 7, 8, and 10 and 11 our indices, you can see those metallic rectangles. So when you combine all of the design elements, it reminds you of electronic circuit, namely inductor design. As you can see, I think Bulova wanted to, reflect their electronic type of inventions and innovations to their dial game here. So I think there's an intentional design choice there to make the watch look a little bit more like an electronic circuit. And I think it looks great. Design-wise, also looks really good. The indices are easy to read because of those red stripes. So the second hand is white, and as you can see, because it has this sweeping second hand motion, I think contrasting color such as white was the only option that could do, and I think they went. They made the right choice of coloring the second hand white, and also Bulova text and 262 kilohertz thing, and that infinity symbol over there is white, just because it really looks good, combined with white minute track, as you can see, indices. So they are really popping out. As you can see, when you look at the watch, it's really easy to read time. And the red is normally a very dominant color, but by using contrasting elements, they made the right choice to make the watch look more appealing to the eye and easy to read. Another thing to mention is the date window on 3 o'clock position. It's white background, and it is circled with silver tones, and it complements the watch design. And it's white, yes, it doesn't color match the dial, but I think because they used white in other places, it doesn't break the overall design language of the watch. It may have been a better option. Maybe if they used red background and white date text, as in the 29 here, it would also look good. But this one doesn't look bad at all. So the watch case, the watch, as you can see from the top, is almost entirely polished. It has some brushed surfaces as well. From the sides, you can see it is vertically actually brushed, but it looks almost beam blasted. It doesn't, you cannot see the brush strokes from each side. It looks almost like matte type of beam blast craftsmanship, but the polishing and brushing are really done to a high standard, and the watch looks fantastic. The watch generally feels and looks more expensive than its price tag suggests. So Bulova really nailed their polishing game here. As you can see, it's almost like a mirror, so mirror-like polishing on the bezel and on the sides of the top sides of the case, and even on the crown. As you can see, you have polishing, and the feeling of the crown is really nice. There are no sharp edges. The machining overall and brushing and polishing of this watch really feels good and looks fantastic. Now let's move on to the bracelet. The bracelets is made by Bulova, and it doesn't look like any other bracelet on the market. As you can see, it has those polished square parts and really interesting looking tree, or I don't know, it looks like H's. When you look at from this side, it looks like double H letter, or from here, it reminds you of Roman numerals, I on another one, or one. So it is consisted of two main parts, the squares and the brushed, as you can see, vertical lines. They are really interesting to look at. It reminds you of windows, when you can just look at this part, it reminds you of 4 windows, or I don't know, but it looks really good. It's interesting, it's pleasing to look at, and it really stands out from the other watches. And when you look at the bracelet of the watch, you can't take your eyes off it. It's really good. There are no sharp edges. The polishing and brushing is really, really done to a high standard. And the butterfly clasp has this positive audible click, as you can hear. And it really looks good. There is no sign here, no engraving whatsoever. But when you open the butterfly clasp, you can see that stainless steel text over there. And I think I didn't remove one of the stickers. Let me try to get it off. Man, it's a pain. Okay. But on this side, you have this Bulova logo, which is a nice touch. And the bracelet, the buckle, everything feels really nice. They're soft. They're really nicely machined. It's a beautifully done watch piece. I think Bulova really made this watch way above its grade, way above its price tag. Again, I'm saying this watch is really, really good on price performance, ratio. Now the watch is on my wrist. We talked about the design enough, so let's talk specs, and you can see the sweeping second hand on my wrist. I'm not going to move the watch a lot so that you can enjoy the view as I do. So let's talk about the specs. Well, first of all, the watch has 50 meters of water resistance. Well, it sounds a little, below the average compared to other dress watches such as Tissot PRX in this price range. But I think, there's no, technically, yes, it is not as good as a PRX in terms of water resistance, but 50 meters means, it's splash resistant. You can wash your hands with it. You can, you can walk in the rain. It doesn't matter, but you cannot swim. I wouldn't take PRX for swimming either. So technically, yes, PRX has better water resistance in this price range, or any type of Seiko Presage line. But this watch, you wouldn't swim with them. You wouldn't swim with this either. So, I don't mind. It's not 30 meters. Even a Patek Philippe Nautilus has 30 meters of water resistance. So we're talking about a $500 watch here. Having 50 meters of water resistance is not a bad thing, I believe. So that's one thing. Two is the mechanism used inside. It's a quartz mechanism, but it's a unique quartz mechanism. As you can see, the watch doesn't tick. It ticks, yeah, but it ticks 16 times a second. So it is almost impossible for naked eye to see the difference between this one, or the closest resemblance would be Grand Seiko's Spring Drive, for instance, which is technically, that watch doesn't tick. It's just infinitive type of motion. But this one takes 16 times a second thanks to its mechanism. It's made by Miyota. It's called NM50, and it's a quartz mechanism. It is running with 262 kilohertz, which is 8 times more than a typical, typical quartz watch. That's why it has this sweeping motion, and Bulova really invented their own mechanisms, and Miyota is using their, because Citizen bought Bulova in 2008. They own the rights to, put any movement in any Bulova watches now, and I think it's a really, really groundbreaking type of movement. Why? Because we as watch lovers really like that sweeping secondhand thing, and the closest option to get it would be Grand Seiko's Spring Drive, and I think the cheapest Spring Drive starts from 3,500 to 4,000 US dollars, and compared to that one, this watch costs 8 times less, but it gives you that same feeling that, sweeping secondhand thing. It's really like buttery, you can't take your eyes off it, and because it's white, it's contrasting with the dial, it really pops out, and when you look at it, it's really pleasing to the eye. I mean, for any OCD guys out there, this watch is really, really good. So my general thoughts about this watch is really, really positive. The watch has also the loom, and which is really not that great. It is only mediocre, yes, but it's a dress watch, so it is expected. I didn't expect a dive watch type of performance from its loom, so it's not negative to talk. I mean, it's not a negative point to talk about. The only negative thing would be 50 meters of water resistance, but I explained my reasoning why I don't consider it as a negative. It has this stainless steel bracelet. The bracelet feels nice. The watch and the bracelet has no sharp edges, no unfinished or badly machined looking parts. The watch in general feels really, really good, and it looks above its price tag. I think, I mean, when you look at this watch, it looks like $1,000 watch, but it's only $450 to $500, which is really, really good. And Bulova offers 3 years of international warranty for this watch, which is also great. And the I think Renata CR 2016 battery inside the watch runs for 3 years. So just because it takes more, than a usual quartz watch, it doesn't deplete, it doesn't consume the battery that fast. So that's a question. That was a question in my mind too. I was like, if it has this 262 kilohertz performance, if it's running in high voltage, how can I, deal with the battery problem? But there is no problem. As I searched from the manual and from the internet, all I can see is that it has this 2.5 to 3 years of battery life, which is really good. At the end of the video, I'm going to show you its loom performance. So should you buy it, or would I buy it again? Yes and yes. I would buy this watch yesterday if I were you. The sweeping secondhand is all that there is to to justify its price, and I'm not even talking about the quality, general quality of the watch. I believe it's a great option to have, and it is a strap monster. I'm going to show you that too before the loom test. I use this watch sometimes with a red leather strap, and I've seen people on Reddit using it with black straps. I think the watch looks great on both options. So as you can see, the watch looks superb with red leather strap, and I think it helps the watch to be more casual. So you can dress the watch down with putting on some straps. May it be black or red, it looks really, really good. With its white stitches and holes, the watch looks more of a sporty, casual type of watch now, and you can pull it off even if you're wearing jeans or any type of t-shirts. So you don't have to wear a suit with this dress watch. And I think it's a great option, and it's cheap. So maybe I can leave a link to the strap. It's like $7 to $8, and it looks fantastic. Jetstar doesn't disappoint in terms of loom performance either. If you're not expecting a high performance from a dress watch like I do, you're not going to get disappointed. At the first glance, as you can see, it's really easy to tell time. And the loom is green, reminds you of Seiko's Luminova, and the hour hand and the minute hand are filled with lume. Also, the hour indices are filled too. So they're really nice and easy to tell. So it lasts for about an hour or two when you go into a dark environment, and it gets the job done. Good job, Bulova. So guys, that's the end of the video. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please consider doing it. Leave a like, leave a comment. I'm open to criticism as well. See you. Bye-bye.